Piece of shit. Good afternoon, fuckers. I'm Skyler Eckenrode.
And I'm Tim Hoffman, and this is Tim and Skinny after beating Brent's ass in the NHL.
So, starting off our countdown this week, our new number 10 basement dweller, our co-tumbleweed of the week, my co-host, Tim Hoffman. Tim fell 2 spots this week after his loss to Smitty. He's struggling. He gives Smitty his first win of the season. Tim scored the second lowest points for behind Keebler, so you're never in good company when Keeb's name's in the same sentence as you. It was a close game, but your wide receivers are really hurting you. They had 10 points combined. Brandon Marshall's only had one game with 10 or more points, and that was an 11-point game, since his 3-touchdown night when you didn't even play him. So he hasn't been doing anything for you in the starting lineup. Chris Ivory, you picked him up after week 1. He has one 10-point game since his week 1 performance. So he's not doing too hot. Gronk, you sold high on Rob Gronkowski. He's only the 7th best tight end right now. He finally did have a pretty good game the other day, though. Your bench is awful. Monty Ball is hurt. Ingram is still out. You might be forced to start Darren McFadden this week, so that is never good.
I'm planning on dropping him.
Never good. Who are you going to pick up? Brandon Oliver?
That's a secret. I don't want you guys to know.
I like Brandon Oliver.
All right. Anyways.
It's Brandon Oliver. I can tell.
No, it's not. Coming in at number 9.
You want to bet?
Yes, I do.
How much?
I'll bet you a player on your team for not with your top 5 for free.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyways, coming in at number 9, we have Keebler, scoring 52 points this week. Keeb, your production of Foles has been really hurting you. He had 3 points last week, 13 this week. He's starting a steady decline for you, and they're starting to have quarterback questions in Philadelphia. So you're gonna have to watch. Jimmy Graham is hurt. He went out with a shoulder sprain. They don't think it's going to be that bad to affect him. But I'd say you had 5 points from Stacy off the bench, or off the bye week. I'm sorry, off the bye week. You expect them to come out and have a game plan to get something going, St. Louis, but only got you 5 points. And your New Orleans receivers. Tampa Bay is 30th in the league defending the pass. They give up so many points to their receivers, and the New Orleans Saints couldn't even figure it out. So I don't know what to tell you, Keeb. Maybe you shouldn't all drafted your players off from the same team, like I say every week. But you're gonna have to find some option to put in there. Skinny, I don't know what you're doing, but okay. Coming in number 8, we have Smitty. Forte's finally picking his production up for you.
Hey, real quick, just round of applause for Smitty. Gets the win. Good for you, Smitty. You know what that deserves? That deserves some confetti. Confetti for Smitty's win, everybody. All right, that's happy.
Anyways, Forte got his production up. 21 points this week, 17 last week. I finally think he's going to start coming around for you. That's good. Morris, 2 points for you. I say it every week. Don't play Redskins players. You played them against the Seattle defense. They gave up 7 points to the Redskins running backs this week combined. The most they've given up to any team during the season is 14 points a week. That's not a lot of points when you're splitting carries with Roy Halou. So you could have played Pierre Thomas instead. 22 points.
You're actually telling him to play Pierre Thomas over Alfred Morris.
Listen to me. They average about 20 points a week to the running back.
Don't listen to him.
And I would have played him instead of playing Alfred Morris this week. Because going against Seattle's defense is never good. You don't get good results. I would have played Thomas. Ingram's out. He's getting a lot more looks. That's who I would have played this week.
All right, well, I'm going to disagree with that. But, hey, coming in number 7, Jarrett. Holding solid there at that 7 spot. Jarrett, you got the win this week, but it was against Keeb, so did you really win? Not to mention Jarrett. What's up with the team name? We've got Team Jarrett right now. That's pretty pathetic coming from our league manager. I really expect more out of you. Anyway, talking more about fantasy football. You kind of got lucky so far with the 2 wins you've got. You have the 3rd lowest points against, so you're really starting to luck out. Calvin Johnson got hurt this week. They're thinking about setting him out this week. That could really be devastating for your wide receiving core. Lucky for you, you have Andrew Luck. Keep sacrificing those sheep to him or whatever it is you're doing because it's working. And Jordy Nelson's been pretty solid for you too. You only have 3 other players on your entire roster that have over 50 points scored this season, and that is Jordy Nelson, who has 83, Delaney Walker, who is your tight end, who just has over 50, and your kicker has 50 points. So it's not a good situation right there. You're really lacking in the depth. It can come back and bite you in the ass. And man, you got a TBM, the total Burt move, for the second straight week because you just suck at picking defenses. I mean, Carolina puts up negative 15 points, and you're like, I better lay off them and pick up the Chiefs. They got me 3, and then Carolina scores 20. So you got to figure that situation out, bud.
Okay, coming in number 6, we have my co-tumbler of the week, Skyler, dropping 2 spots. Donald, you picked him up.
He got hurt.
Me and Brent said, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, he's fucking good. I know everything about fantasy. I'm Matthew Berry. Picks him up. He's so inconsistent.
He got hurt.
He had 11, 8, 2, goes for 23. Oh, let's play him this week. He's going to be hot.
I play him every week.
0 fucking points.
I stick by my men.
0 points. He's the 8th ranked tight end. And, I mean, I understand, though, tight end production's low this year, like you said about Gronk. Tight ends have not been putting up the points, but I don't know. I'd like to burn you on this pick because I think it was stupid. But like I said last week and the week before, Murray's and Rodgers are going to be your good teammates. Your team this week looked a lot like you say with Davy's team every week. Like how he has Ryan and Bell. You have Murray and Rodgers. That's about it. And this week, your team scored low. You didn't play well. None of your guys produced. That happened a lot across the league. A lot of guys just had teams that didn't produce. But I looked at your lineup, and you did pick the best lineup you could have picked. The people you put in scored the best for you. So, I mean, there's not much you could have done. It's just your week to get your ass spanked.
Yeah, it was a pretty poor performance on my part, I will agree. I need some wide receivers if anybody wants to help me out. I got plenty of running backs if you need one. I just need some wide receiver because Garcon not producing, and neither is Crabtree. All right, moving on. I don't like to talk about myself. I get real depressed. No. Number 5, Bert. You move up 1 spot to number 5 this week. You did beat me. I still think I have the better team than you. That's just my opinion. You have 6 starters that have scored over 50 points, which is impressive. It is. Peyton and your tight ends, though, are definitely carrying your team. Peyton Manning, Julius Thomas, and Antonio Gates. You're playing them, the 2 tight ends in the flex. It's a really interesting strategy. You don't see it too often, but with the way they're scoring, I definitely roll with it. That's probably your best bet. I really hope you'd start losing some games, though, because I can't afford to miss the playoffs after winning the championship last year. So, Rashad Jennings did get hurt last week. They're not sure if he's going to play this week. That'd be a really big hit to your team. Lucky for you, though, you have your Tim bye this week, so there's another win for you. So,
all right. Anyways, I don't think you're going to get the win, but that's all right. Coming in at number 4, we have Diggity Dave. Davey scored 107 points. Good for you. That's the first time this season Davey has scored over 100 points. So celebration! I don't understand how you're 4-1 with not scoring over 100 every week. But I mean, you must be just be playing shitty teams. I mean, you did beat me once in there. So
and Keeb.
You play this week. You had Allen in. He totally shit the bed. I dropped him for a reason. I wasn't fucking stupid. He's terrible.
He was stupid.
And he does not score a lot of points. He had 12, or I would have played Golden Tate this week. He had 12 points the week before, 20 this week. Allen's has only had over 10 points 1 week this season. So Allen is not a good choice for you to play. Andre Ellington, 30 points this week. That's awesome. That helped your team out. And Eddie Lacy, 25 points. Davey, I think Eddie Lacy felt there were some ramifications with your team.
What was that?
Ramifications.
Bam! There it is, folks. Tim's word of the week.
Because you made your team name Eddie Lacy sucks, and what's he do? He goes out for 25. So maybe you should start changing your team name every week to somebody that's not producing well, and they'll just go out and have an off night for you. But finally, Ertz, your tight end from Philly. He had 1 point, then 2 point, and then 3 points the last 3 weeks. You're gonna have to find a better option there. The Eagles have that QB question, so who knows? If Mike Vick plays, they're probably not gonna, or not Mike Vick. I don't know why I said Mike Vick.
Stop talking.
But you're gonna have to watch out. All right. No, Mike Vick. I don't know why I said Mike Vick. I wish he was still in Philly. Maybe that's why. Okay. Moving on.
I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Moving on.
Number 3, TD. Staying there again.
I said Mike Vick.
You lost to Davey this week. It was a good game, though. Like I said, that was the first game Davey's put over 100 points. TD, you got Rivers, you got Marshawn Lynch, you got Julio Jones, Brian Quick, which was a great addition. Martellus Bennett holding down that tight end spot for you has been solid. The one thing I see on your team that's a glaring weakness is your flex position. You have Eddie Royal. Glaring, yeah. Is Eddie Royal in that flex spot. He did the same thing last year. He had back-to-back weeks with 2 touchdowns. Everybody jumped on his horse, and then he bucked them right off because he put up 4 points for you this week. Really could have been useful to have somebody else in there, especially in a close game against Davey. You do, however, have a pretty solid lineup. Like I said, you have 7 starters who have scored over 50 points, which is pretty good. And you've been the recipient of some pretty bad luck so far this year. You're second in points scoring, which is great, but unfortunately for you, you are first place in points against. So a little bit of bad luck. If that changes, I really think you could make a push for the division title and a pretty deep playoff run. I'd be all right, though, if you missed the playoffs because I'd prefer to be in it over you. But, I mean, whatever you want to do, it doesn't really bother me.
All right. Coming in number 2 is Beto. You coming off a loss this week. You only scored 55 points. Beto, you're one of our top scorers with 461 points for. You're 4-1, but you're gonna. I don't know. You stayed high in the power rankings. Your team's good. You just had an off week. I don't know. It was out of nowhere. I wouldn't have expected that. But Steve Smith and Calvin Benjamin seem to be your problems right now. They're inconsistent. They go off for a lot, and then they have a week where they get nothing. Steve Smith, 29 points last week, 1 point this week. Earlier in the season, he went 27 points one week, 7 the next, and then 11. You don't know what he's going to do. It depends on how pissed off he gets, I guess, before the game, because when he gets pissed off, he plays well. Calvin Benjamin.
Don't say anything on him. Don't say anything on him. That's just dumb.
Calvin Benjamin. I'm going anyways.
Boy.
Calvin Benjamin. He looks like he's going to have a good year.
It's starting to smell like shit in here.
He goes for 15 points.
Deep in the horse shit.
He goes for 15,
need my mask.
Goes 15 points, 4 points. Then he gets a couple good weeks in a row, and then he goes for 1 this week.
Let me know when you're done talking, Tim.
I would have played Emmanuel Sanders this week. 11 points. He's been consistent. He puts up steady numbers. 11 points, and 15 points in the last 3 weeks. That's who I would have played this week. But you had poor production across the board this week, just like Skinny did. So it's just an unlucky week for you.
I agree. I do agree with unlucky. Calvin Benjamin, I don't really know what to say about that. All right, coming in at number 1, making his second appearance atop our charts this week, the short man, Brent. Yeah. Brent, you beat the shit out of Beto this week. You have 8 starters who scored over 50 points, 11 total, which is just incredible depth. But yet what's interesting is not one of them, has scored over 100 points this season. And that's the only case in this league that has anybody scoring over 50 points on their team. So, like I said, your depth is impressive. You got Drew Brees, Giovanni Bernard. Arian Foster, you have him, but he's hurt. I don't know if he's going to play this week, so that could hurt you. Demaryius Thomas finally kicked it up a notch. Jeremy Maclin has been stellar all season. Greg Olsen as well. Randall Cobb has like 6 touchdown catches already, so, I mean, it's an impressive lineup. So what you lack in height, you make up for in fantasy football depth. So good for you, short guy.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This is us signing off. We'll see you next week. Best of luck.
Make sure you comment because we're getting really pissed off you're not commenting on our fantasy rankings, so please do so.
I think that's backwards.
For them.
It says Vic for MVP.